saw these buffered streams, one of the things was a buffered reader here, and we understand this has another subclass. It has a subclass called line number reader. Okay, so there is a kind of a buffered reader called the line number reader. Okay. So this is a subclass of the buffered reader. Okay. Constructors. Okay, so constructors same as superclass. And so two constructors were there for the buffered streams. Okay, so same thing here also. So line number reader can be created from a reader and a buffer size, or just simply a reader. Okay, so we will have some default value for the buffer size. Okay, and methods. Okay, all methods from superclass. Okay, what's a superclass here? Buffered reader. Okay, and additional methods. Okay. So there's a pair of method which we have. The line number reader, as the name suggests, is related to the line numbers. Okay, so we have a couple of methods here. There is a method, public method returns int, okay, get line number. So it's about keeping track of how many lines have been read so far. Okay, and we also have another method, returns void. Name of the method is set line number. Takes in the line number as a parameter. Okay, fine. So get line number, yeah, what happens? See, when you start and when you have created a line number reader, okay, it would initialize some internal variable where it manages the line number as 0. As you read one line, maybe using the read line method, it would increment by 1. Each time you say read line, it has to increment by 1. Okay, so that way you can know how many lines have been read so far from the line number reader. But what is this set line number? What do you expect the set line number to do?
Where to start, we have to reading. We have to give input. I want to start reading from line number 5.
Okay, that's the impression it gives, right? But it's not that way. Okay, it will not change your position. The position is never affected by the set line number. It's that internal variable which it is using that will be changed. That's it. Okay, so you have read 10 lines and you want to say, no, I want to change that line number value to 1. Okay. Right. So you can change that. So now, yes, it's set to 1. And then when you say read line, yes, it will increment that value. It's just setting a value. See, sometimes someone will say, okay, first line should be called as line number 0 or line number 1. Fine, for that reason, someone might even like to change it. But anytime, maybe for some reason, if you would like to change that value, it can be changed. Okay, so line number can be set. Okay, that's the only thing here. Fine. So set line number can give a wrong impression about what it is doing. Okay, fine. Not so. These are streams. You don't change positions just like that. Okay, and they don't allow you to change positions. Without, so if it's for reading, yes, you'll have to read through everything. You have the skip method otherwise. Okay, then you have the skip method. Fine, to change positions further. Okay, fine. So clear on this line number reader? It's a buffered reader only. Fine, it's same as a buffer. It uses buffer you control the buffer size. Okay, fine. So we covered quite a lot of these input stream, output stream, reader and writer. Right? There are still some more which are remaining. Okay, some of the input streams and reader writer. Okay. Right. So let's, I think what we can do is first create a class hierarchy for the 4 top level streams. Okay, fine, and then we'll see what is remaining where. Okay, fine. One thing is I can do is I'll write here and do indentation to show the inheritance subclass. Okay. For example, yes. So if I start with the output stream class, yeah, what are the subclasses of the output stream, direct subclass of the output stream? Some places we have interfaces as well coming into picture in that inheritance. Okay, so we'll see how to show that. Okay, but output stream, yes, what are the direct subclass of the output stream? We have seen the file output stream. Yeah, we have seen the byte array output stream. Yeah. We have seen a filter output stream. We have even seen a piped output stream. Yeah. Okay. Filter output stream, one subclass we have seen is the buffered output stream. Okay. Fine. Okay. Now under the buffered output stream, under the filter output stream, there are a couple of output streams more. Okay. So one of them is the data output stream. Okay. So data output stream, yes, we have one interface here which is implemented by the data output stream, and that interface is for data output stream, we have an interface called data output, which has been implemented by the data output stream. Okay, and we also have another one called the print stream. Oh, this we have used many times. When we set system.out.println, then that out is a variable, the type is print stream. Okay. So standard output is print stream. Okay, fine. Other things, other subclasses of output stream. Yes, there is one more subclass of output stream. Okay, and that subclass is the class called object output stream. Right? So object output stream happens to be a direct subclass under the output stream. But what object output stream implements is an interface called object output. Okay, now this interface object output, okay, extends data output. Okay, right? So we have something like this. Data output is interface, okay, which is implemented by data output stream. Object output is an interface which extends this interface. So has some, so every method which you will find in data output, right, that's going to be available in object output. Additional method will be there. Okay, and then we'll have a class called object output stream to implement. Okay, fine. Okay, so far, yes, except for I think these two and this one, we have seen the others. Okay. This is for the object output stream. Okay, if you look at the next one, let's say we look at the input stream. Okay, subclasses of the input stream. Okay, I think we can. I'll just first copy this and because there's a lot of similarity, and then update them. Okay, we have the thanks. Okay, now no, we don't have the data. We have the data input stream. Yes. Okay, we don't have something like a print stream, but we've got something else here. Okay, another change here would be also here. Okay, we have a pushback input stream. Okay, there's a piped input stream. There's an object input stream. So which extends from the and very similar kind of thing. One additional class you will find here, which is directly under the input stream class, is a class called sequence input stream. Okay, and there's nothing like a sequence output stream, sequence reader, or a sequence writer. Okay, it's only here. So fine. So we'll have to look at this also. Okay, then we'll see what all is remaining, and then we'll look at each of those. Okay. Again, another thing what I'm doing here is I'm only giving you the subclasses which are part of the java.io package. Okay, for example, you even will find that under the filter input stream, there'll be input streams which are not part of the java.io package. There are other input streams as well. It's not only that everything is within the java.io package. Okay. Okay. So, fine. And similarly, let's look at the writer class, the subclasses of the writer. Yeah, we have seen what's the subclass of the writer. First one which we saw, it was the output stream. Oops. It was the output stream writer. Okay, and output stream writer in turn has a subclass called the file writer. Fine, we have the output stream writer, file writer. Okay. Okay, so file writer was one, right? We had the array streams where we saw the char array writer. Oops. And so array, then we saw the after array we had seen the piped. So we have the piped writer, then we saw the filter writer. Okay. There's a buffered writer. Right? I think these are the things which we have seen so far. Okay. Right. Other than this, also we have something called a string writer. And also a print writer. And there's a string writer and a print writer. Print writer is, as far as method is concerned, method wise, fine. Except for what you inherit from the superclass, it matches the print stream class. Constructors point of view, also all constructors for print stream are available for print writer. Okay, a few couple of additional constructors will find in the print writer compared to a print stream. Okay, but everything what you find in print stream is made available for print writer. Okay. Basically, the idea when you understand one more point is we have output stream, input stream, output stream coming right from the beginning. That's 1.0, but reader writer were introduced in 1.1, so they have come at a later stage. Okay, every output, whatever the standard output, it was system.out.println. So what was being used? A print stream was being used. But what is it that you give output when you are writing to a standard output? You're always dealing with text. Okay, it's not bytes which you are putting, you're always putting the text data. Fine, but yes, since at that time for text data, it was print stream which was used. Okay, but then the character streams are introduced. We have a category for the character streams, so they had advised that we should actually system.out then and system.er should be the only print streams that we use. Otherwise, we should just be using the print writers. Okay, for text output, yes, if you want, start using print writers and don't create new print streams. Okay, and that is the whole idea when they introduced in 1.1. Okay, and so print writer similar to a print stream. Okay, fine. If you look at the reader, yeah, subclasses of reader. Yeah, we'll have we started with the input stream reader. Okay, and subclass was the file reader. And then we have char array reader. Okay, we have the filter reader. Filter reader has one subclass called the pushback reader. Okay. Fine. We have the piped reader, and then we also have the buffered reader, and buffered reader has a subclass called the line number reader. Okay. Fine. We even have the string reader and the yeah, one of them piped. Okay, that has covered. Yeah, yeah, that's it. We have the string reader, and I think there's still one more pending. Let's check here. We don't have something like a sequence or any such things. Yeah. Okay, fine. We'll check later. Right? So this is the hierarchy for the correct. Okay, so this is what we have for the 4 top level streams and their subclasses. And they happen to be like this. Okay, let's just collect the names, what is pending, and we'll finish them one by one. Okay, and so what remains to be seen is the one is related to the in the input stream. If you look at it, sequence input stream. Okay, and that's one. Okay. From output stream point of view, yes, we have the print stream data out. So print streams out. In this input stream, yes, one is sequence input stream, data and object streams, pushback streams. Okay. Data streams. Okay. And object streams. Right. So these are there in the So we have the data input, data output, object input, object output streams. Okay, fine. But before we before we go to these data and object streams, okay, we'll have to also look at we can look at the pushback streams. Okay, another one would be the string reader. Anyway, string reader is quite simple thing. Yeah, what else remains? Sorry, print streams. Okay. Fine. When I said print streams, it's I mean the print stream and the print writer. Okay, this is fine. One is in the byte stream, other is the character.